John Erath is a Senior Policy Director for the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation in Washington and former member of the U.S. delegation to NATO. He's now joining us from Washington, D.C. Mr. Erath, it's good to see you. Thank you very much for making time for us, and welcome. How serious is Zelensky's warning that Russian President Vladimir Putin is allegedly plotting attacks on Ukraine's nuclear power plants using satellites of other countries?
Thank you for inviting me today. There are two very important things to keep in mind about this story. The first is that in the over 2.5 years that this war has been going on, Russia has not previously targeted nuclear power plants. The Russians have shown no hesitation whatsoever to attack civilian targets, to massacre civilians, to attack other portions of Ukraine's energy infrastructure. But they have drawn the line at avoiding nuclear power plants specifically. And there are probably some very good reasons for this, the most important of which would be to avoid an environmental catastrophe that would have effects in both Russia and Ukraine. So there's a good reason not to target the nuclear plants. That the story is breaking now is significant because it means one of two things. The first is that it could be that the Ukrainians have it wrong. That Russia is not going to be targeting nuclear plants. But it could also mean that there is actual information out there that such targeting is going on. This could be Russian propaganda to raise the sense of threat against Ukraine, to intimidate Ukraine into giving up and ending the war. Or it could be that Russia is actually planning such attacks. This would be a very serious sign because it would mean Russia is very much afraid that it's about to lose the war, that disaster is close and they are taking such a desperate step. But at this point, we don't know what it means.
Mr. Erath, let's move away from that. What do you make of Zelensky's victory plan that ultimately forces Russia into peace? He's set to present it to Biden, Harris, and Trump. Do you think it is feasible?
I cannot comment on that because I don't know what is in the plan. I think that Zelensky certainly believes that there is a path to victory, that this would involve continued support from NATO countries and some loosening of restrictions on what can be targeted in Russia. Those would be elements of it that we guess at. But what is specifically in the plan is a highly confidential matter. I don't expect we will know more about it anytime soon.
I understand. That's our time. I've been talking to Mr. John Erath. He's a Senior Policy Director for the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation in Washington and former member of the U.S. delegation to NATO. Mr. Erath, as always, thank you for talking to us today.
You're very welcome.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.